What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to No Faking Sports. I'm your host, David Kincaid, and I want to talk about going into week 3 of the Temple game. All right, I'm not going to talk about Temple. I don't care about Temple at all. Temple is of no threat to the University of Oklahoma under no circumstances. This game should not be close. I don't care what they've done in the first 2 weeks because they haven't played anybody. When we roll into town with our defense and our offense, we should come out with a W. Now, the reason why I do the eye roll on our offense is what we're going to talk about today. I know that all the other YouTubers and media talking heads, all they want to talk about is how great John Mateer is, how great this offense is. Our offense is really good. But if you look at the first 2 weeks and the total points scored, our offense has room to grow. And of course, I'm going to tell you what areas in which they need to grow. I'm not the sunshine pumper. I'm the type of person that I wake up every morning and I look for areas to improve my life. That's how I live my life. That's how you get better in life. If you always dwell on what you do well and you never look to improve, you're never going to get better. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to always be negative. I know I have had some negative takes on the University of Oklahoma before. That is purely out of frustration. I love the Sooners more than y'all could possibly know. Okay? But with that being said, let's talk about the running game. Now all of a sudden, everybody wants to come on YouTube and their different platforms and they want to say Oklahoma needs to run the ball better. When last year, when I was complaining about the running game, they were talking about we need to push the ball downfield more. Jackson Arnold needs to push the ball downfield more. No. Leading in rushing and winning the time possession and limiting turnovers or winning the turnover battle is how you win football games. It's not rocket science. But I want to show you guys some numbers because even though we were 2-0 at the beginning of the season, just like we started last year off 3-0, and I saw some warning signs, and I came on here and voiced my frustration and told you guys what those warning signs were. Nobody really listened to me. I was just. But there are some things that we definitely need to work on. There are some things on the coaching side that definitely needs to be fixed. And I'm here to give you my take on it. Okay, so like I said, we won 51-3. It was the Temple Owls. They are a consistent 3-win football team. I wasn't as much worried about the score as I was the structure in which we played the football game. Now, I'm a firm believer in Brent Venables and our defense. No issues there. We have a defense that should play well in the SEC. We're very deep, so teams aren't going to be able to grind us down and wear us out over the course of a football game because we can rotate and we can add a lot of pieces. On the other side of the football, I'm seeing some of the same stuff that you guys came on here and you heard me complain about last year. We do not run the football on first down enough. To me, I was just talking. Some people agree with me. I'm not going to say that. But for the most part, people weren't taking note. Now, am I telling you that I see these warning signs and I see us going 6-6 going forward? We bet not. That I do not see. I do believe that we have one of the best rosters in the nation. We have the best defense in the nation. And if done properly, John Mateer can win the Heisman. And that right there is a national championship football team. Now, with a 12-team playoff, anything can happen. But let's go ahead and talk about these notes. A couple of things I want to point out to you that I saw that was pretty alarming. Let's start with the first game of the season, Illinois State at Oklahoma. Illinois State outrushed us 117 yards to 103 yards. How does Illinois State outrush the University of Oklahoma? I'll tell you how, because we are a pass-first football team. And when I got on here and I had my rant about the coaching hire of Ben Arbuckle, I told you guys, this is an air raid offense. People jumped in the comments, this is not an air raid offense. This is a pass-first offense. This is not a pass-first offense. He wants to run the ball. He said in the press conference he wants to run the ball. Let me get into why I'm saying this and why I'm telling y'all this. You know I'm going to bring you the facts. Ben Arbuckle, 29 years old, played quarterback in college. But I want to give y'all some stats that I looked into that really bothered me when I looked at this. His teams as a whole, offensively, passing last year, passing for the entire season, John Mateer, 220 yard attempts, 347 completions, 3,139 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Now, if you look at that compared to what we did, you're going to say, that's awesome. That's going to help us push the ball downfield more. With all these pundits get on here and they say, Oklahoma needs to push the ball downfield more. They need to take more chances. They need to throw the ball. That is not high percentage football. You do that after you have run the ball and safeties come up and crowd the box. Then you throw the ball deep. Let's talk about this rushing. The first red flag from his offense is the fact that John Mateer led their team in rushing attempts and rushing yards. 178 carries, 826 yards, 4.6 yards per rush, 15 touchdowns. You know who else led their team in attempts? Jackson Arnold. 150, so 28 less rushing attempts. 444 yards, less than half the yards. I know what you're going to say. That's twice as much. It is. But I'd rather have my running back running the football. You can tell me everything you want to tell me in the press conference, but when it comes down to football time, what are we doing on the field? Once again, we got outrushed by Illinois State. Even with our great defense, we got outrushed by Illinois State 117 to 103. We won the time of possession. Illinois State, 27 minutes, 4 seconds. And we had 32 minutes, 56 seconds. And we were -2 in the turnover battle. -2. 2 turnovers to their none. How many of those games in the SEC do you think we'll win? If we lose the rushing battle and we lose the turnover battle. Brent Venables alluded to it in his press conference. Think about it, guys. How many games in the SEC against Auburn, Texas, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, South Carolina? How many of those games do you think we'll win if we're -2 in the turnover column and we also lose the rushing? One of our biggest games that we won last year was against Alabama. If you don't know how many rushing yards we had in that game, go back and watch my video. Let's move on to Michigan, in which it was a really hard-fought game in which we won. We lost the rushing, 146 to 138. Won the time of possession because we did have that long drive in which we held on to the football. He ran the ball more than he did at the beginning of the game, and I'm going to point that out to you here in a second. Won the time of possession, 27 minutes and 48 seconds for Michigan, 32 minutes and 12 seconds for the University of Oklahoma, -2 in the turnover column. Michigan 0 turnovers to Oklahoma's 2. all in part due to a dominant defense. If you watch my video before the game, I said that with our defense being as good as it is, I feel that we need to get 24 points in order to win this game because I didn't believe Michigan could score more than 24 points on our defense. I do believe that our offense, with John Mateer, regardless of the plays that are being called, we can get to the magic number for this game, drum roll, 24 points. I think 24 points will win this game for us, guys. I do not believe that Michigan's offense, with the freshman quarterback going up against Brent Venables and our stout defense, I do not see them scoring more than 24 points. Now, if they play very good defense and keep it low scoring, I do believe we can still win. But I think that 24-point mark is where we need to get to. Fits. What was the magic number? The score was 24-13. I could go on and on and on and on and on about what I predicted that actually happened last year to this year. Okay? Let's talk about the rushing that we did do in those games. The first game, John Mateer had 7 rushes for 24 yards and a touchdown. Okay? Out of those 103 yards, he had 24 of them. The rest of the yards got split up between 3 backs. Okay? The Michigan game, we all know because now everybody's starting to cover it. And I also said last year that when we knew that John Mateer was coming over from Washington State with Ben Arbuckle, I pointed out the fact that John Mateer led their team in rushing, and we do not want that. That is not a recipe for success. Hence why Washington State had the record that they had last year, and they lost to teams like Wyoming and New Mexico. Okay? But John Mateer had 19 carries for 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. John Mateer played a hell of a game. And I hope he continues to get better as weeks go on and just kill it in the SEC. I hope that is the case. I truly do. But 19 carries is too much. 74 yards when we only rushed for 138 is too much. My math is pretty good, and that's 64 yards that got split up between running backs. Okay? John Mateer on the season, 26 rushes for 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. Our next rusher is Torrey Blaylock with only 17. John Mateer's 26 to Torrey Blaylock 17, and Torrey Blaylock only has 66 rushes for 1 touchdown. Now, I know that the QB run game is part of our offense. I get it. I understand that. But it should not be the main focal point of our running game. I'm going to tell you why. You're not going to sit up here and tell me that our quarterback is better than every running back that we have in that room. Now, there's a +1 aspect to it. Not an idiot. I coach football. I understand it. Okay? You use that mostly in short downs, short yardage situations. Now, Torrey Blaylock only having 66 yards, he did have to go out a couple times due to injuries, and he split yards with the other running backs. It's not that John Mateer is that much better than everybody. It's just that he's getting the carries. Whether that is called runs or it's scramble from the pocket. Now, he's going to have the ball in his hands every play, but through 2 games, he should not be at 26 carries, and the next highest is 17. The play calling. Now, last year, and even this year, I say it all the time, it's not just about running the football. It's about play calling, telling a story, and then changing your story. It's kind of like you tell a girl all these good things to get what you want from her, and then you show her who you really are. It's not me, but we know people do that, okay? But that's how you get what you want. That's how you get to the next step, level, whatever. I know it was a terrible analogy, but you guys get what I'm saying.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When you run the football, downhill running, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with our run calls per se. I would like to see a little more power run, especially on short yardage situations. But it is what it is. It's his offense. He's going to call it the way he wants to call it. But there's a couple of things I want to point out to you that bothers me. Let's start in the first quarter with the first possession, okay? It ended with a touchdown. But let's talk about it. The first, I'm just going to go over it real quick. 1 yard run by John Mateer. Incompletion. 31 yard pass. Minus 4 yard pass. 5 yard pass. 21 yard pass. 8 yard run by John Mateer. Negative 1 yard run by Jaden Ott. Listen to me very carefully, guys. And I want you to understand where I'm coming from on this. Some of y'all don't care, some of y'all not. The first called run to a running back was the 8th play of the game. I'm going to say it again. The first called run to a running back was the 8th play of the game. We're 8 plays into the game, and we finally call a run for our running back. Guys, don't no running back want to come to University of Oklahoma. Why would you? If I'm a top tier running back, I'm a 4-star, I'm a 5-star running back, I'm naturally going to want the football. I'm going to go to Penn State. I'm going to go to Michigan. I'm going to go to Ohio State. I'm going to go to Georgia. I'm going to go to places where they run the football. That used to be us. DeMarco Murray, Adrian Peterson, QG, Quentin Griffin. The list goes on and on and on and on. That used to be us. That is no longer us, guys. Now, keep going. 3-yard run by John Mateer. Incompletion, 9-yard touchdown pass. That is the first possession. 12 plays total. 1 called play for the running back. It's, guys, this is not to be taken lightly. And I hope this is something that Coach Venables is looking at and he's pointing it out. Yes, we got 2 wins. We started the year off last year with 3 wins. Just because we're winning now, if we don't correct some of the mistakes that pertain to football, we're not going to continue to win, guys. Let's keep going. We stopped Michigan for a punt. 5 plays and out. Defense playing. 5 plays and Michigan punt. Okay? Let's go. We punted this possession. 3-yard penalty. All right, false start. 34-yard pass, John Mateer. 4-yard run for Jaden Ott. Incompletion, John Mateer. Incompletion, John Mateer. Punt. We finally ran it on first down with Jaden Ott. Got 4 yards. So we went 2nd and 6, in which I don't care what you do after that. We're in 2nd and 6. You have the full playbook, coach. But we went incompletion, punt. Now, that's 2 possessions, 17 plays, 2 called to the running back. And y'all want to tell me that this is not a pass first offense? Y'all want to tell me that this is not a spread offense? Then what do you call it? I know. Relax, David. We won. Shit, y'all don't see where I'm coming from. This is the stuff that kept me up at night when I was coaching. Michigan, punt, 7 plays, 50 yards, punt. We stopped them again. Back to the offense. On the offense, we went pass, interception. Pass, interception. We didn't run the ball one time. Coming back after the defense gets a stop, we went straight to the pass. How are we not a pass first offense? Okay. Second quarter, Michigan's got the ball, 3 plays, 5 yards, and a punt. 3 plays, 5 yards, and a punt. Defense doing its job. Defense doing its thing. Give me something, offense. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that my expectations are not to score every possession. That is not my expectations. But if we're on first down and you're throwing the ball and it's an incompletion, we're 2nd and 10. We're not progressing to the next step. The next step is a first down or touchdown. But 0 yards doesn't get you to the next step. That's why it's important to run the ball on first down. Next possession, OU punt. Okay, 8 plays. Let's go by them. We started off with Torrey Blaylock. We ran it on first down. Okay, 0-yard run. Then we went pass. Torrey Blaylock run. Then we went, that got us a first down. And then we went run with John Mateer, run with Torrey Blaylock, run with Torrey Blaylock, pass, punt. You see the trend. Pass, punt. Pass, punt. We gave the ball to Michigan. They had 13 plays, 72 yards. Hell of a drive. Hell of a drive by Michigan. And you know what the defense did? They got to stop. Michigan missed the field goal. The defense is doing their job because the defense's job is to not let you get the big play and get you in third down situation. Michigan was in third down situations all night. Aside from that one run that they broke right after halftime, they was in tough third down situations all night. And they punted all night. Punt. We muffed the punt. That was one of our turnovers. But if you guys go back and you look at the play-by-play, and you don't even do that. What I want you to do is this next game against Temple, I want you to pay attention to how many times do we run the ball on first down. 123 plays total. 43 of those plays are called runs to the running backs. Okay. That is a 0.35 run to pass ratio. Or if you want to look at the other way, that is 2.86 passes for every run. When I get on here, I already know what I've been looking at. I do my research, and then I come talk intelligently. I'm not just getting on here doing a bunch of rant. I know it seems like that, but I've put the work in, guys. I go and I look at the numbers because the numbers always tell the story. Football is a numbers game. There's numbers everywhere. whether it's the players on the field, the length of the field, the width of the field, the amount of plays during the game. It's all numbers, and it all matters. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Go ahead and drop down in the comments. Tell me what you think about what I had to say in this video. Whether you agree, disagree, let me have it. It's okay. Um, I don't mind. Even the trolls, I enjoy it, man. I try to get on there. If you interact, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. More than likely, I'm gonna give it a heart. Well, if you say something really good, I'll give you a heart. And I will try to comment on every comment, regardless of what it is. Even when they get on here and say hook 'em, all right, whatever. Wait, I can't wait till we get to that game. I don't even really have points in which we need to win this game because Temple's not a threat to me. Like I said in the beginning, what I want to see in this game, I want to see us hand the ball to our running backs, and I want to see us dominate a team we're supposed to dominate. This should not be a close game. If this is a close game, there's going to be red flags everywhere. And I already know the players have got it in their mind that last week was last week, and it's time to strap up again. First road game, let's go dominate the Temple Owls. Let's not even make it a close game. 40-0. Anything, if we turn the football over, we don't run the ball, we don't control the time of possession, y'all gonna hear a serious rant. This should not be a 24-10 football game. This should not be a 24-17 football game. If it is, we got problems. And more than likely, the offense turned the ball over. And more than likely, the offense didn't get first downs. This will not be a football game in which it's the defense's fault that it stayed close. And I know Temple put together some points in their first two games. I don't care. You know how I feel about this defense. But we still got a football game to play. No team should be overlooked. And I do expect the team to come out fired up, ready to play. I know John Mateer is going to be ready. I know those wide receivers are going to be ready. I know the offensive line is going to play fine. Running backs see the hole. Let's get the dub. Boomer.